There's more to building an app than no code or coding. Your app has to look good and function well too. But how do you make that happen? In this short video, we'll build on the simple app we created in the previous video and design an app for my friend Billy Beaver. Follow along and complete the steps in your own account and you'll be well on your way to building your first app with Thunkable. The concepts you'll learn about in this video are defining the app's goal, designing an MVP app and learning what MVP stands for in this context, and adding label and image components to your app. Let's get to it. The first step of developing an app is sketching it out. I use air quotes here because you don't actually have to sketch it out on paper. I'm going to design my app directly in the Thunkable Design tab, but some people may choose to start their rough draft with pen and paper. First things first, identify what the goal of your app is. What problem do you want it to solve? For me, my friend Billy Beaver is struggling to keep a record of his favorite trees, so I'm going to build an app to help him with this. I have some big ideas for things I'd like to incorporate into this app, but for my first version, I'm going to keep it simple. When you're developing an app, you want to start with a strong foundation that you can iterate on over time. We call this first version the MVP, or minimum viable product. This version of your app has just enough features to be usable by your target user. No need for bells or whistles at this point. Build a strong foundation and then improve and iterate on it in the future. Here I have a very simple app I created with just a couple of components in it. If you've been following along with the previous videos, you should have the same. We'll design and expand on our app's current user interface or front end here on the Thunkable Design tab. I know I want my app to have two screens. This first screen will display a list of trees, and when Billy clicks on a tree in the list, it will open a second screen with additional details about that tree. Let's start with the first screen, the one that will display a list of trees. I already have a title at the top of the screen, but it's not as polished as I'd like. So let's head over to the Properties panel for the label component and make some changes. I'm going to change the size, font, and color of my label. I'd like to personalize this for Billy Beaver, so I'm going to add a couple of images to frame the screen's title. Drag an image component onto your screen, then in the Properties panel, click in the Picture field, and click to upload a file from your computer or type in the image's URL. Resize and position the image. Repeat for the second image if you want to use different images, or use the keyboard shortcuts to copy and paste. And I'll leave space below to add the list of trees at a later stage. Let's move on to the tree details screen. If you're thinking you need to create a new screen for each tree you want to include in Billy's list, you aren't alone. This is a common misconception that we'll guide you through in another video. But for now, trust me when I say we simply need to design one screen with placeholder fields. Let's get to it. At the top of the screen, we'll put the tree name. And of course, let us not forget to rename our component to keep our components organized as we continue to add more to our app. I'd like Billy to be able to see an image of each of his favorite trees, so I'll drag and drop an image component onto the screen and enlarge it. And of course, he'll need to know where his favorite trees are located, so I'll add another label. Lastly, I think Billy would appreciate learning some fun facts about his favorite trees, so I'll add one label for Fun Facts heading and another for Fun Facts content that will populate later. Not too shabby for an MVP if I do say so myself. Now remember, app building is an iterative process. We started with an MVP today, which is the core functionality of our app. We will continue to adapt and build additional features as we continue on our app development journey. Here's a quick summary of all the things you learned in this lesson. You defined an app's goal, designed an MVP app, and added label and image components to your app. Thanks for tuning in for how to design a Thunkable app. And remember, if you can think it, you can thunk it.